You may have heard the famous quote, inflation is when you pay $15 for the $10 haircut you used to get for $5. Indeed, seeing prices go up does make us want to pull out our hair, but there are some surprising strategies for surviving and even thriving despite inflation. Here to untangle this for us is branch manager Nathan Calhoun from Schools First Federal Credit Union. Nathan, always a pleasure having you on.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. So, Nathan, let's start with the basics. What is inflation? I just know things are getting expensive.
Yeah, the term inflation actually can be a bit confusing because I think you equate it with the prices being temporarily inflated or falsely high. And while it's true that, for some items, they actually could go down, but prices in general for goods and services always go up. So inflation is just the measuring tool that we use to basically see and track prices, how quickly prices are rising over a period of time. So a good example of this is Investopedia notes that a cup of coffee in 1970 cost 25 cents.
Wow.
That same cup of coffee on average now would cost you $1.85. That price increase happened over a period of time, but the rate at which it climbed differed from year to year.
Okay, so if prices are always rising, what's making inflation so newsworthy right now?
Well, it really comes down to what items are going up and how quickly they're going up. Things like groceries, which affect all of us. From September 2021 to September of 2022, the price of groceries rose on average 13.6%. That kind of rise in that short of a period of time is going to really turn some heads. In the credit union world, we're hearing from a lot of members who are seeing that kind of cost at the grocery store and thinking to themselves, well, am I still going to be able to save in the short term and the long term for, retirement, things like that. So it's affecting a lot of people.
Yeah, it really is. And if inflation is tugging at our wallets and purses, what steps should we be taking?
Well, really, I would just recommend that always invest in yourself and think about your savings for the long term. Having a savings account available to you is going to really help you with the pressure of inflation. And, if any emergencies pop up, you're going to want a safety net. But what I would do is go through and look at your expenses for the past 2 or 3 months and get a budget on things like your mortgage, your rent, utilities, gas, and so on. Some of these costs are going to be fixed costs. You can't pay less for rent. But getting an idea of what your budget is a perfect start to finding out what you could potentially save on a monthly basis.
What are some money saving strategies once we have our budgets ready?
Well, you think about the grocery store. Try a weekly meal plan. That'll put you on track for when you're going to the grocery store, saving on the items that you don't really need. The other thing is, look for coupons and deals. There's even apps out there that'll help you comparison shop between the grocery stores. Or maybe even buying in bulk or switching to the store brand, which can also help you save money. The other thing, review your household expenses. We all subscribe to probably some sort of streaming service or multiple streaming services, but is there one that you could do without? Maybe look at that kind of thing. The other thing is go old school. Think about your utilities. Switch the lights off when you leave the room. Do your laundry during off-peak hours for when your costs are lower.
Those key steps are so needed. What other things can we do to reduce our spending?
Well, look out for price comparisons for things like insurance or your credit cards. If you're holding debts on your credit cards right now, if you were to lower the interest rates on those, that'll help you save on your monthly interest expense and help you pay those debts off over time.
And if people want to get more help, they can always visit the many multiple branch locations that Schools First has, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Please do that, or come talk to us at any of our locations, and also you can check out our website, SchoolsFirstFCU.org, and just click on the advice tab for any other financial wellness tips.
Awesome. Any final tips, Nathan?
Like I say, we just went over a very small amount of items. Get creative, look around at your budget, figure out what's discretionary, and we can all, look for opportunities to save in our household.
Yeah, making that plan. Nathan, thank you so much for helping us keep our finances in order.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. For more information, visit SchoolsFirstFCU.org.